Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Otanji. I am Tanya and I will be sharing with you my very first pattern review today. I am wearing today a beautiful Calypso jacket by Maison Fauve that I finished just yesterday, and this is my second version I made of this pattern. And I love it so much that I thought it would be maybe interesting for you as well if I would share my experience with the pattern, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Spoiler alert, there is not a lot there. And just in general, which sizes the pattern includes, how much it costs, where I got it, and that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in the Calypso jacket, then this is the video for you. Okay, so if you aren't familiar with the Calypso jacket yet, I will also insert the pattern picture somewhere here and the line drawings and all the things you may want to know. But I will first of all tell you the basics or the facts about this pattern. I bought it at the Stitch Festival in March in London, directly at the Maison Fauve stand. But you can also buy it, of course, online from Maison Fauve. As far as I know, it is not available as a PDF pattern yet. Because Maison Fauve, they do publish their patterns first as a printed version only, and then I think after a year or two they do the PDFs, and I didn't find the PDF yet, but you can buy it for €17.90 off of their website plus shipping. And that's what I did also with other patterns of theirs, and it worked perfectly. So you get the printed version, and it includes two different versions, or probably more actually, because there is the version without the collar, which I have made twice, and then there is a version with a collar, and then there is a version with a gathered back. You will be able to see on the line drawings. And then there is a version without a gathered back, which I did for my two versions. Yeah, you have multiple options there, and the pattern comes in sizes 34, which is a chest of 80 to 82 centimeters and hips of 88 to 90 centimeters, to a size 52, which is a chest of 120 to 122 centimeters and a hips of 128 to 130 centimeters. So I'm not a pro when it comes to size ranges, but I think this is quite decent. And yeah, you can use fabrics like supple wool, jacquard, tweed, denim, gabardine, weighing around 200 to 400 grams per square meter. And I myself used also two different fabrics, and I will tell you shortly what I thought were the differences. On the back of the pattern it says the Calypso Paletot, I think this is the French word for jacket, is the timeless little jacket to enhance your hand-stitched wardrobe. And I have to say, I completely agree with that statement on the back. Yeah, so these are the facts that come with this pattern. And now I want to tell you a bit about my experience. First of all, and I will insert short video clips, I made the version that you can see there in the back behind me. And this is the fabric I bought together with the pattern at the Stitch Festival. It is a pure wool in a houndstooth print. And I also bought the matching buttons from Maison Fauve. What did I get there as well? No, I think that was it. I got the pattern, I got the fabric, and I got the beautiful shank buttons, I think they're called. And the wool is quite a, I would call it a mid-weight fabric probably, but quite sturdy. It is not the densest weave, but it is not a super loose weave either. So it was super, super nice to work with. I enjoyed it very, very much. The buttons are beautiful as well. And I used a silk satin that I had in my stash already, that is this kind of gold color for the lining, and honestly it fits perfectly. It glides on very, very nicely. The wool and the silk feel so luxurious, and this is a piece I think I would have paid a few hundred euros for. I'm in Austria. When I would have got it at a store, and it is probably something, I hope at least, that will be in my wardrobe for many, many years, because it is so timeless. So that was my first version, and I wore that one for a casual, like athleisure look with leggings and a t-shirt, but I also wore it more formally to work and for like a dinner date. So that is very, very versatile. My second version is the one I am wearing right now, and this is made from a dead stock boucle fabric. I think it was Massimo Dutti, and I got it off of Rainbow Fabrics, and it is I think it is pure cotton, and it is a super, super loose weave, and it is quite a lot more lightweight than the wool fabric. I would say it is a light to medium weight, but it is, yeah, super loose weave, super soft as well. And I could have probably interfaced all the fabric pieces and not only the ones it said in the pattern. But yeah, I didn't do that. I wanted to have quite a unstructured jacket or something a bit more lightweight, and it worked out very nice as well. I mean, it was a bit more tricky to sew because of the loose weave, and I lost a few threads, and I had to be very careful and do a bit of overlocking as well, so that it won't come unraveled after some time. And then for the lining, I just realized I have to close the lining, the gap in the lining where I turned it out. So, oops. Yeah, but for the lining on this one, I used a Liberty Tana lawn fabric that matched in colors and is very bright and yeah, colorful. And I think it matches the jacket perfectly. For this one, I can get it easily on and off, but of course the sleeves are not as slippery as the silk I used for the other jacket, but it works nicely anyways. And I did exactly the same. I did no collar, I did no gathers in the back, and kept it very simple and classic. Onto the details of this jacket, I also used, or of the pattern, I also used shank buttons, by the way, for this version, this time in silver. And yeah, I think that just suits the jacket style perfectly. I love that, and now I have to look at my cheat sheet. I love that this jacket has so many, or this pattern has so many details, and they're quite clever, I think. For example, here is a, I think you would call this placket with buttons, and the button holes are functional, so I can open this up fully, but it is not functional in the sense of there is a slit in the sleeve. This is just like a decorative feature to this jacket, but it adds something very elevated to this pattern, I think. And then there is, I will quickly turn around, then there is a flap in the back, like here on top, where you just fold over the yoke and then just sew a straight line. But it is a very small and easy to sew detail, but I think it looks quite professional and elevated, and it just adds a little detail, if you ask me. And then the jacket pockets, they are patch pockets, so also quite easy to sew. But the pockets are lined with the lining fabric, obviously, but there is a little detail that the lining only starts, I would say, like 2 centimeters from the top, and that makes, that means that if you open the flap and get something out, you won't see the lining poking out here at the top. So a super, super neat finish, and that's what I love about all the Maison Fauve patterns I have tried. But yeah, this one was the first one, and I fell in love with the amount of detail and but also easiness that their patterns include. Then I also wrote down that the instructions are quite easy and understandable. I go with the instructions from the booklet, but there is a video for this pattern, a sew along on YouTube as well. And I have used it, I think, for my first version, because at one part I was not 100% sure what they meant. This is what the instructions look like. I like them. I think they are quite easy to follow, but they are not my favorite instructions out of all the pattern companies I have tried yet. Of course, they do always have to write the French instructions, as they are a French company, and then there are the English instructions opposite. For me, that is a bit confusing at times. I needed to get used to it before at first, but then yeah, it worked. The line drawings that come with the instructions, they are not numbered, so you have to figure out which line drawing goes with which part of the instructions. That could be a bit difficult for beginners. Maybe it is. It makes more sense for a beginner to use the sew along. I also know that some people only use the sew alongs, but I don't like to do that because I like to watch YouTube videos on my or listen to podcasts on my phone while sewing, and I don't really have the space to put up my laptop on my sewing table, and I also, of course, can't listen to a podcast and to the instructions at the same time. So yeah, I always prefer the written instructions, and they could be, that's only my personal opinion, they could be a bit better structured, but you will definitely, if you have sewing experience, you will definitely be able to sew this jacket up with the instructions. Having said that, I think the finished product looks so much more complicated to sew than it is. As I said, all the details, they are so well thought out and so nicely done that it is quite easy to sew. Also, the assembly of the lining and of the shell of the jacket is super, super easy. And I have made quite a lot of jackets, lined jackets also before, and also lined skirts and lined bags and that kind of stuff. And the instructions Maison Fauve use are one of the best for lining a jacket, if you ask me. So that was super good. The interfacing, which parts you have to interface in the jacket, that's not so clear to me in the written instructions for this version. For example, I didn't read that I needed to interface the hems, the general hem and then the sleeve hems, so I didn't do it. Honestly, it worked out fine in the end, so it wasn't a problem, but I didn't think that was super clear. Then what I have also written down is that the jacket fits me perfectly. And I know, without having done any adaptations, I know that, of course, this is because probably their pattern block fits my figure quite well, and I'm lucky in that. But I will also, if I don't forget it, write down my measurements in the description box, so you can also compare yours. For me, it just fits perfectly. I didn't have to do anything to the pattern. Yeah, the last thing I wrote down is that it is a very classic style, but I said that before. I think this is super timeless and can be worn over many, many years probably. Also, maybe you want to know, it has bust darts in the front, but there are no further darts and also no princess seams. It's just darts that go from the bottom up to the apex of your bust. But yeah, I think it is super simple to sew for a jacket. I probably wouldn't recommend it to a complete beginner, but if you have made or if you have sewn some things before and this is the first line jacket you want to try, then I think it would be a very good option to go for. I hope that I didn't forget anything I wanted to mention in this review, but I will hopefully have inserted some footage of me wearing the jacket. Also, I think this is quite a cool outfit I'm wearing today, and I found a little color palette on Pinterest I will insert now, and it fits the outfit I'm wearing today perfectly. This is the Freya top battalion, the buttons I'm wearing underneath the jacket, and then just some ready to wear jeans on the bottom, and I think this is a super nice color combination for autumn. I hope you liked my first pattern review. Let me know please in the comments down below if you did so, and if there are any patterns you know I have made a few times that you would also like to see a review of. I would be very happy to do that. And I hope that you have lots of time for sewing and that you had a great week and have a great weekend ahead of you. Take care, guys. Bye.